Now we are ready to do our calibration for our displacement sensor. The platen has been moved out to about halfway to the middle range. We have our gauge blocks, they are ready. The software is open and we have the menu is open, is ready. We have all the gauge blocks that correspond all the way to 1 inch here, which is about 25.4 millimeters. And so the next time what I'm going to do, I am going to be handling these gauge blocks, and it's recommended that you use a rubber gloves. So I'm going to put my rubber gloves so I can handle my gauge blocks. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my first gauge block, which corresponds to 0.0625, and it's written on it. Just make sure that you insert it in the correct way, which is the smooth way here. So I'm going to go underneath my platen and I will insert my first gauge block. So now the displacement sensor has moved down by the amount of the thickness of the gauge box, which is 0.0625. Now I'm going to go to the software here and I look at my dial reading, which is 0.0625 inches. That corresponds to my first gauge block. And what I'm going to do, a read. So now it's going to read the displacement from what was 0, which was our reference. You notice here that the numbers are negative, so because we are doing the calibration in a descending order, so we can get a calibration factor that is positive. So I have 2 points now. I can do calibrate. Based on 2 points, we have the software automatically gives you the factor in inches or whatever millimeter per count. There's an offset, which is a theoretical offset, standard error, which is 0 here, and a correlation of 1, because this is a perfect line because of the 2 points that you see here. So the next one is I am going to remove my first gauge block and I am going to insert the next one. Next one is 0.1, and so now I have the next point. So I go back to my software and do read again. So now I have 3 points. Do calibrate, so I can see my calibration now is taking place. I have 3 points. Then again, I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to remove my third point and put the next one, which is 0.125 underneath, and go back to the software to the same line and do read and calibrate so I can check what's going on. Again, I will remove my third point and put the next one. So my calibration is taking place. I am already on the 4th point. So my next one. While I'm doing this calibration, I want to make sure that there's no one bad point or something is not right, and I could tell in the graph if the point is completely off or the error is too big on each point. What you see here, so we have my next point, and well, I'm keeping track if my correlation has to be at least 4 nines and my standard error as low as possible. I got my 8th point and my last point, which is 1 inch. So my calibration is done. I got all my points in. I got my calibration factor. I got my standard error, my correlation. This is the graph. And in order for this new calibration to take place, I just have to hit save. So when I look at my summary here on my displacement, this is the old one that was done in July 30th. And this is the calibration factor. When I hit save in my calibrate displacement menu, then the software will automatically take this factor and this offset, put them in here and update the date when it was done. So this is our new calibration, and you do apply and you do OK, and we're done with the calibration of the displacement sensor.